not an expert in radical Islam. I am not anti-Muslim. I was asked to come speak today to tell you about my experience as mayor with an Islamic tribunal that was created in our community. I am not endorsing any other speaker. In fact, many of you I just met. But I think it's important as mayor that we give our experiences and we ask for help when we need them. On February 2nd of 2015, so almost 2 years to date, there was a CBS 11 video that talked about North Texas being the home to the first Islamic tribunal. Quote, "It is how Muslims settle disputes in many countries in the Middle East. But now North Texas is home to what is believed to be the first official Islamic tribunal that follows Sharia law." And this was a CBS News piece. This was February 2nd. Literally within 3 days, it went from the first Sharia law court being set up in Irving to Irving establishes the first Sharia law court. Now you can see the difference in those two messages. Within 3 days, all of a sudden, we were getting emails. We were getting phone calls to City Hall. I was getting text messages because this was on the radio programs, that this was being created in Irving and it was following Sharia law. I had a very small Facebook following, but I took to my Facebook following and I posted what I thought was a very well put together message that we understand there's a rumor of a court. We're looking into it. We're going to find out what's going on. If we find that there are fundamental violations of basic rights, we'll get down to the bottom of it. But we're talking to our state officials to make sure that it's clarified what is necessary and what rights are. And that I, as an elected official, as you are all elected officials, we support to preserve and defend the constitutional rights as provided by the state laws of Texas and the Constitution. That was it. You would have thought that from the response of that post, that it was the most radical thing you'd ever seen. The media firestorm as a response to that simple statement was immediate, it was aggressive, and it was absolutely misleading. I went to the website, which is the IslamicTribunal.org website, to find out for myself firsthand what the information was in the public, what started this whole news story to begin with. And what I found on their website was that the four imams who had created this, who were the head of this court, called themselves judges and referred to themselves as attorneys on the website. Now, none of them had a JD, none of them were recognized by the State Bar of Texas, nor were they licensed. And yet, on their public website, IslamicTribunal.org, they identified themselves as attorneys. Under practice areas, they listed family law, divorce cases, product liability, business, and real estate litigation. They charged for their services. There was a disclaimer about forming an attorney-client privilege, which, by the way, is still there to this day. Text directly from the website, not my interpretation. Muslim nation faces have to be solved by taking into account jurisprudence and its Sharia law. With this understanding, there is no secularism or detachment from the tenets of faith and all Islamic injunctions in regards to the legal field. Muslims here in America are obligated to find a way to solve conflicts and disputes according to the principles of Islamic law. It is the intention of erecting this institution in order that it will be emulated and duplicated throughout the country. This may be incrementally developed by educating ourselves and also the legal professions in the country. So understandably, it may naturally take time to find its way to be commonly accepted. Again, not my words. There is also a site, a page on their site that was labeled Our Constitution. In the first sentence of that, the first article, they say the purpose of this court. So while media has attributed and always put in quotes court as if I created it, they refer to themselves on their website as a court, as judges, as lawyers, as following Sharia law. There was an interview shortly after that with a number of the people involved in the tribunal. And they were asked what would happen if there was a conflict between Sharia law and Texas law. And El-Badawi said most of the time the laws are in agreement. But when pushed further, he admitted that we follow Sharia law. However, he explained if the parties are not satisfied with the tribunal's decision, they do not have to accept it and they can take the matter to Texas civil courts. He did not say what the social ramifications of rejecting the judge's decisions would be. And he also said, and this is where I have particular concern, he also said there is a difference between how a man and a woman can request a divorce under the system. The husband can request the divorce directly from the tribunal, but the wife must go to an imam who will request the divorce for her. He called it two paths to the same result. Now, as a mayor, I took an oath that I will protect and defend the rights of my constituents that are provided to them by the state laws of Texas and the Constitution. If there is a question in my mind that that is not happening in my city, it is my obligation to take action. The action that I took was talking to our state reps to make sure that this type of tribunal was legitimate, that it was following the laws, and that if it wasn't, that we could clarify it with some type of legislation. Representative Rinaldi had been in meetings with me. We've had lots of discussions about this. I have yet to see a mainstream media that actually lists these quotes, that actually talks about what this tribunal had on its own website. And I don't know if there has been any investigation into it. It seems to me that if four people were to create a website where they called themselves a court, where they called themselves judges, they called themselves lawyers, they took money for their services, that the state board would get involved and that they would have questions on it. I haven't seen any action at all. I'm asking you as mayor, help me to get to the bottom of whether or not, and I have no information and I have no facts other than what they put out publicly on their own website. I need to get to the bottom and find out, are there people in my community whose rights are not being observed? Are women getting equal rights in this tribunal? Under Sharia law, a woman's testimony is equal to half that of a man's. Under Sharia law, as the moms who are in charge of this tribunal have admitted, women do not have the same rights as men. What are we doing to protect those women in my community and in the state? And I'm going to tell you right now, when you start asking these questions, expect the media to be very forceful and very, very negative against those questions. And my advice to you, let them. We are here because we took an oath that we're going to protect these people's rights. And if we're not doing that, we're not doing our job. And I'm asking for your support today to help me find out, are all of our citizens' rights being protected, and is everybody getting equal protection under the law? I ended my Facebook quote very simply stating, and I cannot say this enough, that our nation cannot be so overly sensitive in defending other cultures that we stop protecting our own. The American Constitution and our guaranteed rights reign supreme in our nation, and may that ever be the case. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate your interest in this. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you for being here today. I'm Representative Tinderell from Arlington. Not a question, but a statement. We're a land of laws, American law. It's pretty simple. I spent time in the military. I spent 21 years, and I've been over there. When these folks come over here, we welcome them with open arms. Pretty simple. We're a land of many diverse backgrounds, and we welcome you. But I said that we're a land of laws and American law, and with every bit of my being, I will fight to defend the law of our country. And to the media, this won't make tonight's soundbite. You're at fault. You are half at fault for what's happening in America, specifically with this topic. You need to be more responsible in your actions, because what you're doing is causing chaos and making them think that they can create their own laws in America. And I'm disgusted by it, and it's your fault.
Yes, Representative Kane?
I'll go and go. Well, as a member of the bar, the State Bar of Texas, I would like to call upon President Tom Vick to investigate this barratry and think acting as an attorney and holding out as one. It is illegal and should be looked into, and they should look into it in the other places that it's occurring in the state. But I did want to ask you, Beth, could you tell us the kinds of reactions that occurred to you? Were you threatened? Did these people of this religion of peace, were they peaceful to you after you exposed them?
I have had various aggressive messages sent to me. I guess that's probably where I'll leave it. Those messages have been posted in a number of different media. It has not been a pleasant experience. But looking at my background, there's no way that I would change the decision that I made to speak out against this. The purpose of me continuing to speak out is because the media still hasn't gotten it. The PR campaign against this type of action of speaking out is so egregious that I feel I'm put into a position that I have to continuously go out there and put real information, facts out, because it's not being covered. It's not easy. But again, I am in a position as mayor, as an elected official, to protect the rights of my constituents. And yes, the reaction was very negative. And yes, I got some threatening emails and phone calls. But it wouldn't change what I did.
Mayor, thank you for being here. I thought it was interesting that you noted for you, this is about equal rights for women. That was interesting for me. I wanted to ask you, you referenced some material on their website. Where can we get information? Is it possible to get, because I've been told that through some of that stuff has been changed and whatnot.
Yes.
Is it possible to get copies of what they had originally posted?
Yes.
Okay.
We have screenshots of the original posts of the tribunal when I responded to it. The tribunal website has changed. It seems to be an organic website, and their services are ever changing. But I have the original screenshots, and anybody who's interested in that.
Where they refer to themselves as judges
yes.
and
attorneys. Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me, Representative Swanson. I just wanted you to comment on the fact that here in the United States of America that you were persecuted for defending basic equal rights for women.
Is that a statement, or do you want to comment on
I'd
it?
like you to elaborate more on that. I find that a very hypocritical and shocking situation.
It was really shocking. We had a council meeting, and I had some very strong, influential women come down and call me a racist and a bigot and an Islamophobe because I was there specifically speaking out for the equal rights and equal treatment of women under the law. And that to me has always been the priority of my response to this issue. Is when you have a law, you have a type of a legal basis where women are not treated to the same respects and the same rights as men. When you have women whose testimony is equal to half that of a man's. How can you defend that if that is happening in our country? And I couldn't, and I spoke out. And as a result, you're right, I have had a number of women tell me that that was wrong. And that's okay. I mean, they are welcome to their opinion, but I'm welcome to mine. And my opinion will be that in the United States, women have equal rights, and I'm going to fight for those rights. Yeah.
Thank you.
Representative Mike Lang from Granbury. I just want to thank you for your courage and strength, and it's very admirable. Thank you very much.
Representative Matt Rinaldi from Irving.
I know who you are.
I wanted you to talk a minute about before the Irving City Council took up the support for the American Law for American Courts bill. We had a meeting with the leaders of the Islamic Tribunal in Irving. Actually brought them in, and during that meeting, we asked them, would you come out publicly in support of a bill that requires that any law applied in the courts of the United States be in accordance with the United States Constitution? And I remember I had said I think it would be a very good public statement for the leaders of the Islamic Tribunal to come out with us and support the Constitution when they said in the meeting they were supporting the Constitution. Can you talk a little bit about their response?
It was very clear that they were not happy with my Facebook post. And again, that's still up. If anyone wants to see that, let me know. I can send it to you directly. They wanted me at that meeting to issue an apology, a retraction, and to help define what this court was and wasn't. And I said, I can't do that because I'm not defining what it is. I don't know what it is. You are welcome to redefine it, and I would encourage you to do that. And they said, well, your actions have been negatively affecting our community. Because people think that we're now doing something that we're not following American laws, and that we have a Sharia law court. So this bill gave them an opportunity to clarify exactly what this tribunal stood for. And the City Council's response specifically for family law, and I'll quote, a decision based on foreign law, not Sharia law, it's nothing to do with Muslim, didn't even mention Islam, but a decision based on foreign law is void to the extent that the application of the foreign law violates a fundamental right guaranteed by the Constitution or the statute of the state. If this is what you believe, come down and support it. And I remember you sent them the verbiage, and you were very open. If there is something in particular that you don't like, you let me know and we'll change it. Did you ever get a call?
I did not.
Did you ever get an email?
I did not.
All I know is the day before we voted on a resolution supporting basic fundamental rights, we got a number of emails and a lot of very angry people that came down to the city council chambers that night and fought us passing a resolution to support this. Now, it made no sense to me. If all of the comments that we heard in that meeting, that they were supportive of basic rights, that they were following American laws, I can't understand why they would have an issue supporting a bill that said we're going to support fundamental laws, and where a foreign law is void that would violate someone's rights, why that would be a wrong thing to support. To me, if you live in this country, that is the minimum of what you should do, is to support basic rights in our country. And we couldn't get that support.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor Van Duyne. I appreciate your coming here today.
Thank you guys very much.
Hold on. I'm sorry, I have one more question. Did this come from only one mosque, or was there several? Are there several mosques in Irving, or?
We have a number of mosques in Irving, and again, I mean, I know a number of the members in these mosques, and we have great people. We have the most diverse zip code in the country.
Right.
We have an extraordinary community. And what has bothered me is this has an outside of our city, outside of our state. I don't want our city defined by this.
Right.
And yes, there was a number of different mosques all around North Texas. It was not specifically in Irving. We have a great community. And we have all come together and have been stronger as a result of all of the negative press, because we're loyal to our city and we love it. I just want to make sure that we all realize that this is based on trying to encourage health and love and peace in following our laws. Irving is a great community. It is an honor and a privilege, and it's a very humbling experience to be mayor.